You could have the best rental property in the best market, but if you have a really bad property management company, it is game over. In this video, we're gonna deep dive how to vet your property management company and what are the red flags that you should be paying attention to when you are dealing with a property management company on your investment property out of state. There's a lot of moving parts with hiring a property management company, and they can definitely make or break your business from afar. We're going to dive into the red flags and hopefully things that you can avoid so that your portfolio can grow successfully. My name is Stephen Husted. I'm a real estate investor of 11 years, and I've gone through a lot of different scenarios when it comes with dealing with property management companies. And quite frankly, in the very beginning, when I hired my first property management company, I really did not know the type of questions I should be asking. I got my property management company from a referral, and they took over a couple properties for me. But quickly I found out that they were the most unorganized, non-communicating property management company I could ever deal with. And what that led to was poor communication between the property management company and my tenants that in return ended up making my tenants upset. I had tenant turnovers, lots of different repair scenarios, and quite frankly, nothing was getting resolved. And what that did over time was it cost me a lot of money. And I just didn't know what I didn't know in the very beginning. So we're gonna go through some of the things I've learned and some of the pitfalls you can pay attention to, and also just know what to expect from your property management company, because there's lots of different moving parts, and you just wanna know that up front, they're gonna take care of these things. And if they don't, you know that you can call them out on that. Let's just get into this topic of how to vet your property management company. When you end up buying a property and it's out of state, first and foremost, there's a bunch of different people you're going to have in your team, whether it's your contractor, your agent, your handyman, but one of your key team members is going to be your property management company. And they are a part of your business. They are the boots on the ground. They are the ones that understand the market, how to deal with tenants. They have infrastructure of contractors and handyman and all different resources to help you succeed in owning properties from afar. And not every property management company is created equal. This is a big question you have to ask a property management company when you're going to go hire them is, what type of software do you use? Is it Appfolio, Buildium? You want to know that with your property management company that they have really dialed in systems on how they deal with every aspect of the business, and that they have other team members that handle little sections within the whole property management business. Not all of them are created equal, and you will notice this up front the minute you hire a property management company and you're second guessing everything that's going on a monthly basis, whether it's not getting complete rent payments or there's issues with the tenant, but you're not finding out in real time. These things will start to add up and you're going to start to question what's going on. But with a really good property management company, all those things are systemized. It's automated. You'll get it in an email. You'll understand if there's a repair or there's not a tenant not paying, or there's a communication when the repair job is much bigger than your reserve fund. So there's all kinds of different things. You'll notice the difference between a good one and a bad one. What is a bad one going to do over time? A bad property management company is just going to cost you a lot of time and money, because the more issues you have, the more vacancies, tenant issues, repairs, those will compound over time and just cost you a lot of money. Your property management company is there to protect your asset. They are able to, in a heartbeat, go to your property and deal with any type of issue or check something out that you think is wrong or anything that you need to get double checked. They're the ones on the ground that can take care of all that. And if you run into a bad one, they're usually not going to take care of any of those things, and they're going to let everything fall to the waistline. One of the biggest takeaways I've gone through recently on one of our current property management companies out in Kansas City, who we've been using them for probably over 3 years now. And the reason why we work so well together is they have a system in place of how they deal with us. So we have our own dedicated point of contact. So if there's any type of issues at any of their properties or any kind of questions that we have, we can contact one person, shoot them an email, get on a phone call. The minute that you have people that are in different parts of the property management company, you'll notice that everything is running a lot smoother and there's more communication going on through emails, through their system, so that you're aware of any type of issue going on, non-payment, whatever the case may be, it's all documented up front. So where's the best place to find a reliable property management company? So there's several places you can start, depending on what market you're going to be investing in. Let's just say that you're investing out in Kansas City. You can join some Facebook groups, you can do meetups, you can look on Bigger Pockets, and you can get all types of sources. But I can tell you right now from experience, if you can get around the investors who are been investing for a very long time, getting referrals from them is a great way to go, because they've typically gone through the good and the bad, and they can help you kind of like move through without having to pick the wrong type of property management company. And also, if you go with a referral from an investor who's been doing it for a very long time, you'll also have their contact. So if there's anything going on within that property management company, you're still in contact, and you can share experiences, or, hey, look, I think they're slipping right now, I might be looking for one. So you can kind of share information back and forth, which is really valuable over time. You definitely can find good leads on property management companies also from investor-friendly agents, and local meetups are just a really great place to kind of talk. But one of the things you really have to learn how to do is you got to communicate and talk to people. You got to hear what everyone else is doing, which will help you kind of make decisions on your own investment journey. That's just a really big key. In the very beginning, I was talking to everybody. I talked to all types of different investors. I listened to a bunch of podcasts, just deep dived all that information. If I would have done that sooner in the very beginning, it probably would have saved me a lot of time and money. But in the very beginning, I just thought I could figure it out and just trust people, but that wasn't the case. If you can find a property management company on Google or Yelp and they have really good reviews, that would be another good way to kind of vet a property management company. Once you decide that you're going to start to interview a property management company, you want to be prepared with all the questions that you're going to have for them. And one of the biggest ones I've brought up to all of them is, how do you communicate? If there's an issue at one of my properties, how long is it going to take you to respond to that? How long is it going to take you to respond to me on what's going on at my property? If they don't have software automation, it's probably going to take longer. But if they have Buildium or Appfolio, you're going to get messages in real time. You can tell right off the bat that if they don't have good communication skills, or they don't know how to answer these type of questions, they're probably not going to make a good property management. One of the other big questions you have to ask them is, how do you handle evictions or maintenance requests? What does that timeline look like? Do you communicate that within the portal? Do I get an email? How do you handle that? Another big one is fees. So fees are subjective. So if you're just starting off and you have one or two properties, you're probably going to be paying a higher fee. But once you scale and you got like 10 properties, that fee is typically less. And every property management company has a different structure. One might say 6%, but have all these additional fees, where another one, it's a flat 8% fee and then they move it on. So you just have to talk to them and find out what makes sense. But typical range is anywhere between 8 and 10%. You're gonna know when you start to ask all these questions, are they the right fit? Are they sounding very vague? What kind of read are you gonna get from them? And at the end of the day, they are managing your business. So the minute that you're hiring them on, you're entrusting them to make sure that they can properly market your property, get a tenant in place, manage any type of tenant issues, make sure that the tenant's paying on time, any type of legal issues, anything that has to be addressed. They need to be the ones that are doing this. And if they can't answer these questions up front, they're not going to be able to answer them once they take over your property. So pay attention to that. Here's some red flags to watch out for. No transparency or vague answers. They're a one-person show with no backup. bad online reviews, and 0 investor references. They also own rentals in the area, possible conflict. They're overly pushy or they overpromise. Here's part of the vetting process that I use when dealing with trying to hire a property management company. I call 3 to 5 references they give you, investors only. I ask performance questions, tenant placement time, maintenance issues, vacancy rate. I start them off with one property on a trial basis. Then, here's a good one. I secret shop. I call them as a tenant and see how fast they respond. So once you've locked down somebody who you think you're going to hire, you also want to start to pay attention to understanding the property management agreement. You want to read that line by line. You want to go through how you're going to be getting your funds dispersed, what type of software is going to be used there. You want to set up recurring check-in monthly or quarterly. We typically do every month. We're constantly in front of our property management company, paying attention to everything that's going on within. You cannot set it and forget it. Even if you have a really good property management company, you can't just sit back. You want to still pay attention to what's going on with your properties, at least on a monthly basis towards the end, just to make sure that everybody, all your tenants have been paying, that there's not some interesting repairs or any mistakes too, because sometimes they make software mistakes and you get overcharged for things. So you want to pay attention to all that. You also want to communicate with them that you want to establish boundaries that they manage, but you oversee. They're the ones on the ground managing your properties, but it is your business and you're going to oversee the whole thing. So if there's any issues going on within that you're going to be addressing them up front to them, and you're going to want answers when there's any type of issues coming up. You're going to want them to give you some clear, concise information on what's going on. Wish I would have learned sooner is, when should you fire your property management company? Personally, if it's going downhill in the first 2 months, they should be fired. Poor communication, the response time with emails or tenant placements, or getting the property prepped for the market. If that's taking a lot of time, you probably need to find a new property management company. You don't want to sit on this and let it just keep going and hopefully thinking that they're going to get it back together and run it smoothly. They're usually running into problems. And one of the biggest problems that I've noticed with property management companies kind of dropping the ball is they get too big too quick and they don't have systems in place. And so they just start to slip, or people leave the business and they don't have replacements. And so then things start just kind of snowballing at that point. And you can kind of see it happening in real time, but rule of thumb, 2 months, you got to be out. Delayed disbursements or financial reporting, constant tenant issues or high turnover, gut feeling that they're not protecting your property. So hiring a really good property management company is the key to success. They can make or break your business. I can't say it enough how important the property management company is. And it might take some time, but if you can learn to clearly vet and communicate and do your due diligence up front, and at the end of the day, don't trust anybody in the very beginning. They have to earn your trust to be able to work within your business, because at the end of the day, it's your business. And if your property management company is not doing a good job, that means you're not doing a good job. That means your business is not doing good. So I wish you the best. Hopefully you find a good property management right off the bat. That will be important on your growth, your stress level, and how you succeed moving forward. Because I think that in the beginning, if you have a bunch of issues and you're feeling stressed out and you're taking on all the weight of the property management company and everyone else in your business, it's going to seem very overwhelming. But the minute that you get all those in place and they're all working and firing all cylinders, you'll notice how quick you get more confidence. You can sit back and then really then work on the rest of your business on how you want to grow it. Because if you can have a solid property management company, you're going to have more confidence. Everything's going to run smoother. Tenants are going to be paying on time, staying longer. So it's just really important. Get that right property management company in the beginning so that you can grow and be successful. If this video helped you, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.